Welcome back to the fundamentals. Eli couldn't make it. That's okay. We'll get him back on the next one. Luke's joining us from Canada again. He had to run and grab something real quick, so he'll be right back. But today we have a bit of a different episode for you guys.
Wait a minute. This isn't Toronto. How did I get here?
You're just in your basement.
I swear I just walked up the steps into this upstairs and I opened the door, my basement door, and now I'm here.
Have you been in my basement this whole time?
No, wait, maybe I don't.
Am I in Canada?
I didn't know I had this ability, but
that's pretty cool, dude.
While I'm here, might as well just.
We're in Farmville still, right? Like you just teleported?
I didn't know I had that ability.
Okay, alright, so you moved to me.
I guess so.
Okay, alright.
I guess there's a 1 in 100 chance when I open a door, I teleport.
Wow. That's kind of scary.
I know, it could have some bad times.
That could be rough.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Luke joined us.
Might as well. Welcome to the fundamentals. Mason, what were you saying?
I'm a little flabbergasted.
I understand.
Starstruck.
I have no idea what happened either.
Wow.
This only happened one other time. So.
Do you want to tell the camera, or is that an off-camera topic?
Yeah, it's off camera.
Okay, sorry guys. Banana Ball.
We've had our fair share of discussions before on our other podcast that you guys should listen to, Unsportsmanlike Conduct. You'll find it on CM Life, and we'll be back next year for that as well. We had a discussion where this guy does not like Savannah Bananas at all. He had a full 20-minute rant on why.
I'm going to put that episode's link in the description right now. Click off of this. Go listen to that. After you listen to that, come back. We need you to come back because the good stuff comes next.
The prequel is back on the Unsportsmanlike Conduct, so we're going to have you go there and then come back. So you can see why me and the rest of the world are trying to give Banana Ball a fighting chance, and this guy just is stuck in his ways.
Open-minded.
I tried to get him to be open-minded.
Our boy D2, Deshaun White, got us tickets tonight to the Savannah Banana Ball in West Michigan. So it's really good that you teleported in this moment.
It would have been hard to get here because I already bought the ticket.
Yeah,
it would have been strange.
You just saved 3 hours of your life not driving.
I know. I was about to warm up the car too. My dad's probably pretty confused when he goes to see.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But yeah, so you'll be seeing Deshaun later on in the video, I'm sure of it. But today we're going to go to Banana Ball. We have 5 categories that we're going to rank to determine if I was right in ranting about it, or if I should just shut the hell up more often and just enjoy life.
We all would agree for Mason to shut up a little bit more, especially during my segments. But
I'm sorry about that, Luke.
It's all good.
So the first thing that we're going to look at to rank is the rules. Are the rules cool or stupid? I said in the podcast, which you just all heard, and if you didn't, I know you didn't, go back and listen. They're stupid. Tonight, we'll find out if that's true. The second thing we're going to rank is, this was yours, I'm going to let you say it.
Baseball ability.
Baseball ability.
Not baseball ability.
No, I was vetoed on that. Just baseball ability. What does that mean?
It is how similar it is to the real game of baseball, which Mason said that Banana Ball and the MLB are nowhere near the same. So that is what that category is.
The third one is entertainment quality. Is it a good show? Is it even worth the price of admission?
I could do a lot for $35, so we'll find out.
Good or bad. And then the fourth thing is atmosphere. Is it going to be a nice atmosphere? Am I going to feel like I'm at a circus or a baseball game? Or in between? I'm hoping more baseball.
I'm hoping more circus.
Weirdo. And then the fifth thing is stadium. It is the West Michigan Whitecaps home stadium. I've been many times. It's pretty much my backyard. Even though we have to drive 30 minutes to get there. Maybe we can just teleport in.
Well,
let's try it. Let's try it after this.
Is there a regular wood door at the Whitecap Stadium?
There's a gate. We could try the gate.
I don't know if the gate will work.
We got to give it a shot.
We'll
We'll do
try
that in
it.
a minute. But
Okay.
without further ado, I'm going to follow him. We're going to try this teleport
All right,
thing.
let's
Let's go to
let you know.
LMCU. Please work. Please work. Please work. Please work. Please work. Whoa.
Oh my.
I can't believe that
Whew,
worked again.
I get a little lightheaded every time that happens. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I'm a little nauseous. I can't believe you've done that twice now in the last 2 days.
I'm gonna need a day to recover.
Yeah,
So,
that was...
I hope you don't mind. I packed an overnight bag.
I guess that'll be okay. Well, that was something.
It really was. It was all jokes aside, it was one of the most. It was an experience of all time.
It was an experience. That doesn't give emotion, good or bad, but it was an experience.
It was. It was an experience, and we're gonna rate it as we explained earlier before we took the teleportation wooden door. And we have the 5 categories that Mason mentioned earlier. And Mason, why don't you get us started?
So the first one was the rules. They were different.
It was a lot. I remember on the jumbotron they were showing them, but they were talking so fast, and there was so much the whole field, all the dancing and all. I just could not understand the rules, but luckily we had the other podcast where you kind of explained them to me, so I already kind of knew what was going on. And then as the game went on, the rules made a bit more sense.
Yeah, seeing it in person made more sense. My rating for the rules, everything's out of 10. We're going to add up the score at the end to give you an out of 50 of what is the experience. I give it a 6 for the rules.
Any explanation on why, or just
slightly above average of what I was thinking? Because going in, as you guys listened to the other podcast, I know you did, thank you for going back, it was better than I thought it would.
saying that when you give it a 6 is crazy how low your bar was. But that's besides the point. My rating for the rules, a bit higher. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 because I honestly like the rules, and we really didn't even get to experience all of them because I think there was only 2 or 3 walks the entire day. And the golden battle rule we didn't really get to see it because it was kind of a blowout.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really a need because the game was not close in any way. The firefighters never really did much.
Yeah, the party animals took care of business early.
Yeah, the time limit was the only rule that we both kind of talked about, but
yeah,
it didn't really have any effect on the game because it finished well within the time limit. So
yeah, but with the time limit, in between innings counts for the time. You have a 2-hour time limit for the game, and it just kind of was lacking on my end. I didn't like that. I didn't like that they counted the time of not playing in the time of the game.
yeah, there was a lot of moments where it was the end of the inning, and then we would just have some kids racing around with blankets, like they were holding up blankets, and I turned to Mason, I go, we're on the clock here. The game's going on, but we got kids running around the outfield with blankets on. And
there was even times where they started playing while they were dancing.
Oh yeah, there was I think one of the party starters or what they're called, they were doing the dance to Can't Touch This while it was like a 1-2 count, and I had no idea. I finally was able to pay attention to the at-bat.
Realized the game was happening. And then the other rules of the walk, everybody has to touch the ball before they stop running. I kind of liked that. That was kind of cool.
It was, and it had some good entertainment, especially when the players would actually try and hustle, and because a couple people I think one person had a double out from a walk.
Yeah.
So that was something new to see.
Because the outfielders come sprinting in.
Yeah, and they have to all toss it to each other and then get the tag on them at second before.
So that was cool. I kind of did like that. The other one that was like the biggest one that I noticed was the innings. Whoever wins the inning. So there was multiple times where the party animals were the home team, the firefighters didn't score, so the party animals got 1 run, and the inning just ended before it was 3 outs.
I mean, it kind of makes sense though, because if it's just a 1 inning format and the away team didn't score,
Yeah,
you know,
it always felt like the ninth inning though, which was kind of cool, but I don't know if I was a huge fan. Which kind of brings me into the next topic, baseball ability.
I gotta trademark that, by the way.
Yeah. Well, what do you give baseball ability though?
Well, I would have to say baseball. So this is a scale of 10 would be an MLB game.
Yep.
10 would be an MLB game. I'm giving it a 6 because there was still baseball being played, and you can't give it anything like a 4 or 3 isn't. You can't. That's a pretty far way away. Because there was still baseball being played. There was umpires on the field. There was 9 fielders. There was a batter. There was a catcher, home plate umpire. Everything was there. The count system was the same. Balls and strikes. 9 inning game. It was still baseball. It wasn't any baseball that I've ever seen before, but there was the framing, the groundworks of baseball is there. It's like a building, but the inside they made a nice outside structure, a nice brick building, concrete, it's all there. But you walk in on the inside and there's not a lot there.
Yeah.
But the structure is there.
Okay.
But so that's why I'd have to give it a 6.
I don't think you're gonna like my number.
I'm scared.
I can hold it up on this hand.
A 1?
1. It's not baseball at all.
So this could be a 1. Our podcast is a 1 because it's not baseball either.
I went on the scale of 10 is a Major League Baseball game and 0 is a theater show. I gave it a 1 because it has aspects of baseball, but it's not baseball.
Okay, there's still some baseball to it.
The turning point for me in the night was in the first inning, and you looked at me and said, the moment I accepted that this isn't baseball, I started having fun. And that's exactly what happened. We got halfway through the first. I'm watching it. I was getting frustrated. Don't get me wrong. I was still frustrated the whole game because it wasn't baseball. But the moment that I kind of clicked in my mind that just because I'm at a ballpark doesn't mean I'm watching baseball. And then I started to have a blast.
I will give you some credit. It did feel like show first, baseball second, but there was enough baseball there. Like the primary focus of the night was the game, the baseball game. So
I don't think it was though. I think the primary focus was entertainment.
The primary focus was it's banana ball. There's still baseball being so. It's not. I think a 6 is fair because it's still enough of a baseball game to be.
But all these rules are changed, and I'm thinking Major League Baseball. This is nothing like it. The way that I really saw it was that scene from The Rookie when he's running in to like relieve from the bullpen, and he trips over an RC car.
And now, fans, it's time to guess the winning call. And big crack at the first baseline. Number 1 will win it this time.
There was a little fire truck sometimes, and then they were driving out. I think one of the firefighters' pitchers got entered in a barrel. They rolled him up to the mound, and then he proceeded to lose the inning, and then they had the barrel defeat.
Yeah,
the sad barrel
that
roll
was sad.
Off the field.
It's just it's these guys that are playing baseball. That's why I give it a 1. I'm sorry, but it's not.
I don't know. A 1 feels like for baseball ability, a 1 would just be you waking up in the morning because it's the furthest thing from baseball. There was still a decent amount of aspects similar to the game that I believe it is. You guys have to let us know whose side you're on for this because I think a 6 is fair.
Okay, well, let's leave it at that. We'll move on. So number 3 was entertainment quality.
I'll start us out with this one, and I gotta be honest, I was pretty entertained.
Yeah.
This is gonna be my highest rating. It's gonna be a 9 out of 10.
Yep.
There was never really a dull moment. I will say it's not a 10 because this is just a me thing. I think in the 7th and 8th innings, I did finally start going on my phone a little bit because at that point we were there. It was like hour 3.5. The 9th inning brought it back though because the 9th inning, all the runs counted, even though it didn't matter because the firefighters didn't.
They didn't do much.
They did score once, but it didn't really matter. But I gotta say, 9 out of 10. The The entertainment was all there. It was something unlike I've ever seen before. So
Yeah.
it was great. For $35, it was one hell of a night.
Yeah, I give it an 8. It won me over with the entertainment. It was entertaining.
It was one of the best forms of entertainment I've had in the past year, for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I had the greatest time because when you say baseball, I get excited to go watch baseball.
Well,
And my biggest pet peeve about it, like I said on the other show, was it's kind of ruining baseball to me.
you know, I do kind of see it. I gotta be honest, because we did walk around LMCU and see a lot of kids
Yeah.
decked out in banana ball gear. They're like 6 years old. I was
Yeah.
6 years old. I was rocking my dad's oversized Tigers cap.
Yeah, and
That I couldn't see because the brim was over my eyes.
exactly. When I was a kid, I dreamed of going to Comerica Park to watch the Tigers, even though they were awful when I was a kid.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. It sucks because our generation, at least when we were born, were we 05?
Yeah.
I was 06, so the 2011, 2012 Tigers, we weren't really old enough.
We weren't comprehending baseball by then.
I didn't really start. I mean, I went to a Tigers game in 2012, but I didn't know what was going on. I was probably sucking down a frozen lemonade, just having a good time. I didn't really know what the score was.
Which is what we saw last night, though. The kids,
Yeah.
the kids were watching the dancers. They weren't watching the baseball.
And they couldn't care who was that bad, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, they're gonna grow up, and I think they're gonna want the same thing. They're not gonna want baseball, and that's been a talking point for a while now that baseball's a dying sport.
I do gotta counter you by saying it was.
No, I'm not ever gonna say it's a dying sport. I'm saying that's what people have talked about, and with this being a different variant of baseball, I think that could lead to less and less fans showing up to an MLB ballpark. But I will never say that baseball is better than it ever was.
I gotta agree. The pitch clock definitely helped it, but I don't know. I just don't think banana ball will ever be big enough. A Savannah banana ball it's kind of like an indie sport. It's not that big. MLB is it's such a large thing that obviously the kids love it, but most of the American population watches the MLB. Not a lot watch Savannah banana ball. So
Yeah, I didn't see very many older people.
Yeah, it was. I think we might have been in the upper percentile in age of these.
Other than parents.
Oh yeah, but
yeah, that's the equivalent to somebody's parents taking their kid to Disney on Ice. They don't want to be there, but they're bringing their kid there. So it's like I get scared for that, but nonetheless, it was entertaining.
It was for $35. I don't think I could have asked for anything more.
An actual baseball game would have made me happier for $35. That's all I'm going to say. Let's move on to atmosphere. I'd say 10 being Tigers beat the White Sox last year to make the playoffs.
Okay.
So sold out Comerica. Everybody's loving it. Great energy.
So
and zero is Lakeview.
I'll have to give it a 6 for atmosphere then, because no disrespect, obviously. It's a minor league ballpark, so obviously you can't have as many fans. But it was sold out. I got to give Banana Ball credit. They sold out LMCU ballpark.
Yeah, and this along with the next one being Stadium is subjective. They play at different ballparks. I know they sold out Death Valley at Clemson. I'm sure that atmosphere kind of did rival being at a football game at Clemson. So, but the one we were at, minor league ballpark, sold out. I'm going to give atmosphere a 7. I'm sticking with my original number because they did so many things with the crowd to get the crowd into it. We had one part where we were waving our phones, singing Don't Stop Believing. And my favorite part, I'm going to put the clips up right now, was when the teams entered. The firefighters came out with a fire truck and started sounding the siren. That was awesome. And then the party animals come out the bullpen all jumping around, having a party. Those two moments gave atmosphere.
It was, I'll be honest, I wasn't really knowing much about the firefighters, obviously, because you said, didn't they just get added?
I believe this is their first year. I could be wrong, but they're a newer team.
obviously there was a lot of. I don't know if you have any clips, but the merchandise shop, there was like 8 tents of the party
I think I got
animals,
a clip
and
of
there
that.
was only like two,
Yeah.
two,
And
tents,
nobody was in line.
and nobody was in for the firefighters.
We stood in line for probably 15, 20 minutes
Yeah,
to get these
to
hats
get these-
and this
yeah.
beautiful banana.
That's a limited edition right there.
Is it?
It could be.
You could say that about anything.
That Fanta right there is a limited edition. Only you are drinking that. That.
Oh, I thought I put the Fanta shirt on.
We were talking about with the firefighters. They really won me over with their entrance. The one guy with the mullet shake as his walk up.
Oh my
that
gosh.
was pretty cool.
It's all business in the front, but there's a party in the back. When I'm on the shake, it gives all the girls a heart attack. Do the you got what I need, but you say you just a friend.
The atmosphere was there because of all those aspects. And the firefighters were cool. Their jerseys were awesome. Don't get me wrong, but I will forever be a party animal fan, not only because we watch the party animals, but because my dislike towards Banana Ball stems from the actual bananas. So from now on, I am a fan of their rival.
I gotta say, I'm with you on that. We went to the party animals. I'm not just gonna buy a $30, $40 hat and not be a fan of that team, especially when I have no loyalty towards Banana Ball in any way. So I might as well pick the first team that I saw, and it's the party animals. And
The only thing I do like better about the Savannah Bananas is Coach Rack. I don't know if
I have not heard of that.
Really, Coach Rack, he's on Instagram and TikTok. He teaches kids how to like swing a bat properly and do all that stuff. He's cool. I love the guy. Shout out Coach Rack. You're never gonna see this. We're not big enough for that, but hopefully you do. But that being said, he's my favorite banana. But I don't like the Savannah Bananas because I'm a party animals fan. My favorite player, and this also goes with atmosphere, was the Leprechaun. Dude.
Oh my gosh.
He was chugging before every at bat. He went up there and the umpire was doing an Irish jig.
It was he definitely. I gotta say the mullet shake was number 2. He had the number 1 walk up.
That was awesome.
The whole field was doing the jig, bro. It was incredible.
Yeah, and then to add the atmosphere, the ump was doing flips.
That
also has the entertainment.
The first base umpire had like a ninja headband on and the mask, and he was every out he'd do a flip to either call him out or safe.
That was pretty cool. I gotta give that credit. That was awesome.
None of the other umps were doing. I think the other umps were a bit more professional.
The behind the plate ump was dancing when he was calling strikes. I saw that a couple times, and it was just that all of that combined made the atmosphere, I feel like, better. But I can't say I loved it because it wasn't baseball. But real quick, before we get into our final takes, stadium.
Very
subjective. They play all around the country. They don't just play in one stadium.
I'll have this just be a rating of the LMCU ballpark because I've never been. Mason obviously lives pretty close to the stadium, so
It's had some changes.
He knows that there's been renovations. This is my first time laying eyes on this stadium, and I gotta say, I wasn't expecting much. I know it's a high A, single A affiliate of the Tigers, so I wasn't really expecting much from a minor league single A stadium, but it really blew me away. I gotta be honest. It was. I don't know what it looked like before with the renovations, but it was really nice. It really impressed me. All the concessions, all the food places in the stadium, the little back area that you were showing me where all the events are that they just added was pretty cool. The bullpens, I know you don't like they moved them, but they look like actual bullpens now.
It's honestly, the way the ballpark looked before, I can kind of say I only liked because of nostalgia. I grew up going there. I loved baseball as a kid. That was the ballpark we go to. It's 30 minutes away. The way it looks now is honestly 10 times better. So for an actual like minor league ballpark,
yeah,
I give it an 8.
I'd have to say a 10 obviously would be a really nice stadium, like professional stadium.
But you got to rank it as minor league.
But I'll save 10 for in the minor league scale. 10 will be the best minor league ballpark.
I'd say 10 is the Frisco Rough Riders. They have a lazy river in Wrigley
Yeah.
Field. That's 10.
I'll give it a 7 for LMCU because I can't just give it a 10 because it's the only minor league ballpark I've ever seen
Oh, really?
or in person been to.
Wow.
So I'm not as well traveled as you are when it comes to stadiums. I know you've been to a lot of stadiums, especially on the east side.
Well, for minor league, I've only ever been to Charleston, the River Dogs, and the Chattanooga Lookouts. And then if you count the Traverse City Pit Spitters, who are below minor league, but I don't.
Well, it was still a very impressive stadium. I really didn't think I was going to see a stadium that big and
Being sold out, I feel like
Yeah.
adds to the stadium part of it. But
I mean,
Yeah.
10,000 seats is a lot for a single A stadium.
I thought so, yeah.
So I gotta give Grand Rapids credit because I was expecting something a little bit bigger than Tennyson, if I'm being honest.
Wow.
I hate to say it, but I was
there
not
are good things on the west side of the state, other than that college in Kalamazoo.
well, no one wants to go there. So
Finish it up. Give your final thoughts while I try and calm down.
yeah, I'm sorry I said his trigger word, guys. He's going to therapy for it. Don't worry.
No, I'm not.
He's in the beginning stages. Stage 1 is denial, so don't
No,
Don't
that's
mention-
not.
don't worry
This
about him.
This
very
is a
much.
blood thing. This is a new thing that I am attending a university, and I'm not allowed to like that place.
Didn't you just say you were collecting your thoughts and being
Sorry,
quiet? over
okay,
there?
just-
Like,
Just get on with it.
final
Don't-
thoughts. Banana Ball. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't baseball, I'll agree, but it was enough of baseball and enough of an atmosphere. Hella entertaining. It was one of the greatest things that I've seen in the past year, and I'm sticking to that. It also got me to see the Whitecap Stadium for the first time. So all in all, it was a great experience.
Yeah. So I agree. I had a lot of fun. The moment I stopped wanting baseball was the moment I started having fun.
Yeah, we got him to loosen up.
There was some things I didn't like, and I talked about those today. There was a couple things that I didn't like, but overall, I had a good time.
Yeah, we got him to loosen up after booing at the Western.
I was fired up.
Yeah, he was fired up, exactly. And I think it was just overall one of the best experiences that we've had in our short time knowing each other. So it was definitely worth the while.
So after looking at our final rankings, Banana Ball gets a 32.5 out of 50.
It's a passing grade on any high school exam or test. So I gotta say, Mason, I think we didn't fully win you over from the unsportsmanlike days, but we definitely brought you in a little bit more than you already were.
I'm not all the way there, but I enjoyed it. I had a
And that's
decent
all that
time.
matters. It's a form of entertainment at the end of the day, and that's what its job is, and it worked because Mason was pretty entertained. He was, even though he doesn't want to admit it here with his facial expressions.
But one thing I would say is if I was a female of the same age that I am now, I probably would have had a lot
The
more
rating would be definitely a bit higher.
Towards the ninth inning, one of the players got up on the dugout, whipped his shirt off, and threw up a sign that said "Follow my Instagram." And all of the girls in front of us jumped out of their seats. So that part was
Yeah.
more like Magic Mike, and I
Yeah.
didn't like that at all. I looked at Luke several times and said, "This is not the party I showed up for." But nonetheless, I did have a good time, and I'm not fully on board with Banana Ball still, but I am more on board than I was 24 hours ago.
That's all that matters. We are trying to
Open minds,
open mind.
hearts.
I hope that he now has an open mind when we try new things. And maybe next edition of Dr. Crane's Corner on Unsportsmanlike, and he rants about another topic, and then we go try it. Maybe he'll be a bit more open-minded for the next time.
Yeah, let us know down below in the comments if you liked this form of the fundamentals. I think it'd be great if we did this again. Maybe we do it with a CMU football game.
Maybe.
That would be, I feel like that'd be a pretty cool rating.
It would be. I mean, we might be a little biased because it's our college, but we might have to come in with an open mind, unbiased mindset
And I think it'd be great if we went to other places and did the same thing. Like him and I went to a Western game last year. We could have done the same thing. I'm sure this year I want to kind of go to an Eastern game for basketball. So we're going to try it out. And if you guys like it, that makes it even better. We'll continue to do this. We're also going to keep the podcast. Next time we'll get on with Eli. I don't know the topics yet. I don't want to say anything and then be wrong. So we'll get to that when we get to that. So that's all I got.
Nothing else to say. You said it better than I could.
Thank you all for watching the fundamentals. Please come back. Please let us know if you liked this. I would love to do this again. This was a great experience. Maybe someday when we're big enough, this whole experience could be a tax write-off.
Who doesn't love that?
I mean, so if you guys want to get us big enough for that, I'd greatly appreciate that. That's all I got. Thanks for watching.
The fundamentals. I gotta go through the door again.
Oh, he's leaving again. Oh, back to Canada we go.
I gotta try this. I gotta get back.
I hope it's a two-way door. We got a tea time at 3.